I'll be honest with you, it's gone brilliant. The feedback from competitors has been incredible. They've all been really positive despite the absolutely torrential rain. And I mean, if you could predict worse conditions, you wouldn't be able to predict worse than today. It's just been raining non-stop. But I'll be honest with you, even though everyone's been soaked, they've been coming in with big smiles and going, oh, it's just brilliant. People have come up and said, I've lived here for 15 years and I've never seen so much of Sydney. So the feedback has been excellent. Everyone's really positive and everyone's come away and saying, oh yeah, I've had a great time. Thanks very much.
Kodak Urban Max is basically a race around a city. But to enter this race, you don't need to endure hours of grueling workouts or weeks of training to hone your skills. In fact, it's the type of race that you or I could enter, because all you need is a partner, a travel pass, and as you'll see later on, just a bit of cunning. However, to call Kodak Urban Max just a race would be a mistake. It's also a travel program, a rough guide to a city, in this case, Sydney. It's a chance for the competitors to explore places of interest, and for us as viewers to get a taste of the history of this vibrant place. But let's get back to the race, and here's Gary Fairbrother, the race organiser, to explain some of the rules.
Today's event is the Kodak Urban Max. Essentially, it's a race through the heart of the city in Sydney. There's over 240 people, so that's over 120 teams. They're racing in teams of two, that's mixed male and female teams. Essentially, they must work together and using either foot, public transport, i.e. buses, trains or ferries, they can navigate their way around the course. There are essentially 10 photo checkpoints and their objective is to get 1,000 points and get back to the finish as quick as possible.
Let's have a look at some of the favourites. Team 102, Peter and Steve. This is their 11th race together and they're pretty confident about their chances. Team 122, Richard and Joel. These guys look like they could sprint to Brisbane and back, and while they haven't been talking themselves up, they're certainly a team to look out for. And Team 54, Ian and Claire. Self-confessed fitness junkies. Ian loves his high-tech gadgets, which he believes will give them the winning edge.
When I designed the course, I wanted it to be all about strategy and thinking rather than just all about speed. What's a poor strategy is to have no strategy at all and just go for it. Oh, we know that one, we'll go there. And then they'll end up going backwards and forwards and covering so much more distance than they need to. And I think the smart ones will probably go to the climbing wall first and plan their entire route on the train.
Team 102 and Team 54 have done just that and got off to a flying start. Unfortunately, as you can see, some are better climbers than others. However, both teams have escaped unharmed. Well, for now that is. Each team are given a camera and a Kodak Urban Max memory chip to record their journey around the course. And it looks like one of the favourites, Team 122, have already fallen behind.
I think there'll be a few ahead of us, I reckon. We stuffed up the puzzle. Big picture, thank you very much.
But they're clearly not too disheartened. They're back into the running and ready to make up lost ground. As the clues and activities are ticked off, rivalries are not just between the teams.
I knew nothing about this until last night when he said at dinner, oh, we've got this thing on tomorrow and it's a race.
It's hard.
Who's fitter? The wife's fitter.
We're very well prepared.
Over at Town Hall train station, Team 121 is so well prepared, they've just jumped onto the wrong train and are now heading in the wrong direction. Another strong team hoping for glory are Team 102, Peter and Steve. So far they've done pretty well and are certainly up near the top of the leaderboard. And they've made great time getting to Sydney's oldest pub at 10:43. The problem is, however, that it doesn't open until 11.
The oldest pub in Sydney, you think it'd be open early, wouldn't you, instead of 11 o'clock?
The teams following them arrive to the same problem, but they decide to move on.
Got to come back, huh?
Some of them not in total accord.
I politely disagree with your decision.
Well, we've got 20 minutes. We can do the Southern Island, come back and do the Observatory Hill, and then be back here in 20 minutes. Yeah.
We can run pretty well, so if it's a toss-up between waiting for 15 minutes for a train, we'll probably run.
Yeah.
Team 54, Ian and Claire, the self-confessed strong runners, have their picture taken at the observatory and make their way down to the Fortune of War. leaving the strong finishing team 122, Richard and Joel, to have their photo taken basking in the glorious weather.
We're desperate for a drink. You can't even get a drink in Sydney. It's terrible, isn't it?
Meanwhile, back with Team 102, things need to be moving along, and they know just how to do it. Peter calls the owner of the pub to give him a hurry up.
2 minutes.
Oblivious to the veins popping out of Team 102's heads, the hectic pace continues for the rest of the competitors. Things are certainly getting congested back at the Fortune of War. It has now become a point of honour for Team 102. They're so determined to get in and out of the pub first.
$20 for 3 coasters.
They even offer to pay the landlord $20 just for a signed beer coaster. Alas, still no joy. And now they're in a real pickle. The origins of Luna Park go back to Coney Island, New York, where Elmer Dundee developed a ride called A Trip to the Moon, which was so successful that in 1903 he opened his own amusement park and called it Luna Park in acknowledgement of the ride. Luna Parks spread to Australia in 1912 and finally to Sydney on the 4th of October 1935.
What pub in Sydney is closed at 10:30 in the morning?
A photo and a quick whinge from Team 58, and it's time for them to go back to the pub, which thankfully has opened, and now it's on for young and old. Team 102 would probably prefer a double scotch to calm their nerves, but instead settled for the treasured prize of a beer coaster signed by the barmaid and the 50 precious points. And so it looks like the long wait has been Team 102's downfall. Richard and Joel, Team 122, romp home ahead of the field. As the rest of the competitors wander home, it seems Team 122, or the Proud Aussies as they like to be known, may have come a cropper.
The Proud Aussies, who crossed the line first, actually went to all the checkpoints, but unfortunately didn't bring back proof of having been to Climb Fit, where they had to complete one of the climbs.
So it gave you a piece of paper that said, learn how to climb. Apparently you're supposed to keep that as proof that you were there.
And so the committee have reviewed that and made a decision they'll be awarded a 15-minute time penalty.
Yeah, we told the guys what was on the brochure and hopefully that's good enough, but we'll have to wait and see.
We're still happy.
Judge's decision will be final.
The judge's decision will indeed be final. Looks like we'll just have to wait and see.